There it is. He timed it right. Counting
to explode with the left. Oh, and that right, but Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still.
Welcome to the motherfucking lady. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. Added to the UK versus USA MVP show, young Raina Tellez will be making her first appearance as an MVP fighter. Her official MVP debut, not just as somebody's opponent. Opposite the ring, the United Kingdom's own Jessica Barry, 32 years old, to young Raina, who is 23. 9 years younger, sporting a professional record of 13 wins with 1 loss and 1 draw, 5 recorded knockouts, having never been knocked out in 15 professional bouts, to Jessica. Sports professional record of 10 wins with 1 loss and no draws, 2 recorded knockouts, having never been knocked out in 11 professional bouts. Although Jessica is 9 years older than Raina, she's actually a less experienced fighter in terms of the number of fights, the number of rounds, the quality of competition. Jessica has been in there with the same fighter, the exact same girl, 3 times, in Lindsay Buczynski, who she faced for the 3rd time in March of this year. Before that,
you know, she kind of looks like Melissa Joan Hart.
who's that?
You remember Sabrina the Teenage Bitch?
Oh, the Teenage Witch. So she fought Lindsay Buczynski 2 times in the same month in March of this year. Once at the beginning of March, then again at the end. And before that, she had fought Lindsay Buczynski in March of the previous year.
Winning all 3 fights, what's become sort of a tradition for her. Is she gonna fight Lindsay Buczynski every March of every year?
Her lone defeat came at the hands of Vaida Maisokaite in June of 2023, 3 years ago. Since then, she's fought 9 times and won 9 times on a 9-fight winning streak, as opposed to Raina, who's coming right off that loss to Amanda Serrano in January of this year, where she gave a really good account of herself.
Raina has been in there with the better fighters comparatively. It's not just because she fought Amanda Serrano. Even before that, her quality of competition was somewhat better than what you get from Jessica.
Names like Mayela Perez, Maria Salinas, Perla Lomeli.
These are gatekeepers. These are professional journeywomen, but these are also more experienced fighters than anybody that Jessica has fought so far. So Raina would have banked valuable rounds and gained valuable experience in fighting them.
I expect her to win.
Scheduled to go down in the women's featherweight division, where Amanda Serrano still reigns as that division's unified champion, where Tiara Brown still has the WBC and Nina Menka still has the IBF.
Saw a recent post from Amanda Serrano that stated, "As many of you already know, my boxing career is coming to an end soon. But talking to my manager, I reminded him of things that we had discussed in the past and goals we had set out for ourselves years ago. To that, I will be coming back and making it happen. I will announce that later. With all these great things happening to and for everyone, I don't want to get lost in the sauce."
It's really not a secret that Amanda Serrano has a fight coming up and perhaps one more, what could turn out to be her swan song towards the end of the year in boxing, so that when she finally bows out, the 2 alphabet titles she currently holds might go to Raina. They may position Raina to be the one to pick up those belts after Amanda is gone.
Got a few prize stallions at or around these weights. We know that Ellie Scottney very recently became undisputed super bantamweight champion, subsequently dropping all her belts to now campaign at feather. So you've got Raina Tellez there, you've got Ellie Scottney there, you've got Tiara Brown there, who already has a belt.
And I see a round-robin situation where all 3 girls may end up fighting each other, which I would say is very good.
Though for Raina, it all starts with the upcoming Jessica Barry fight next month on the undercard of Mayer versus Cameron. And as stated, I expect Raina to win. I expect that she's going to be too come forward, too physically strong, too aggressive, and too durable for Jessica Barry.
Conservatively, I'm going with Raina Tellez to win a points decision in the UK next month.
Okay. Well, you mentioned Bam. He's been in the headlines a lot because Inoue said that he's not going to wait on him and he's going to go to featherweight. I know you guys just got the 118. What's your reaction to that?
I don't know what Inoue's talking about, honestly. He's acting like they've already sent us a contract or they sent us an offer, and that's totally zero. We haven't got nothing. I talked to Eddie Hearn 2 days ago, and he told me the same thing, that he has not heard anything from anybody regarding Team Inoue. So Inoue to say that, you know, it's a big lie, because he's making the world believe that there's offers out there when there's zero offers. So us, we have a plan to fight Bam in November or early December, and that's the plan. Unless we hear something from Inoue's team, then we'll consider it. But as of right now, I haven't heard anything, and neither has Eddie Hearn. So we're moving on.
Okay.
We're moving on. We're not chasing Inoue. Bam.
You could have fooled me, honestly. The tune is somewhat changed from when last Robert Garcia spoke about a Bam versus Inoue fight. For how many videos, how many times have you seen Robert talking about Bam versus Inoue? Isan with the Nissan, a friend of the channel, reacting to this story, said, "We're moving on, we're not chasing Inoue." Oh boy, that just isn't the same tone they had a few months ago, but okay. It's because it's not. In Bam's last fight, debuting at 118 pounds, while he won, and he won in sensational fashion, he had to go through some adversity in that fight with that guy. Those first few rounds in the Antonio Vargas fight, he was getting hit. He was getting hit a lot, and it looked like Antonio's size and strength and aggression was bothering Bam, at least in the beginning, meaning he has yet to acclimate to 118 pounds before he can be ready to fight the best guy at 122, and not just the best guy at 122, but one of the very best guys in the sport. Pound for pound number one to some people. Let's make a long story short. Robert Garcia, Bam Rodriguez, they're not committed to the Inoue fight, and they never were. Well, they were happy to talk about it a great deal, happy to talk about it when they were 2 divisions south of where Inoue campaigns, where it's safe. But when the big machine started moving and the gears started going, and an effort was made to do the fight, they got cold feet. That's what it is. Well, how could you say that if no offer has been made? Robert's playing dumb. Before they even fought Antonio Vargas, they knew that tentatively the plan was to put Bam in the ring with Inoue in the first quarter of next year, say February or March. They knew that already. Before they fought Vargas, they knew that already. After they fought Vargas, so that if you're about to schedule a fight for Bam in November or December, that gets in the way of the Inoue fight, and you know that. Who's he fighting? WBO Bantamweight Champion Chispa Medina. So before you schedule anything with Chispa, and before you even beat Antonio, you knew when that Inoue fight was supposed to be going down, so that if you schedule a fight towards the end of this year, you're not going to be ready to fight Inoue in February. And that's why Inoue said that. Robert acts like he said it for no reason. The reason he's telling you guys, I'm not going to wait around for you, is because if you fight in November or December, you won't be ready to fight him in February. And he's not going to wait around for you to get ready. Robert says that it's not like they've received any offers from anyone, from Inoue, but we're in the summer months, folks. It's not like you're giving them time to make you an offer when the fight you're talking about is all the way out there in the beginning of next year, and you've already booked yourself another one for the end of this one. You hurried up and booked yourself another fight so that you wouldn't be available to accept an offer. That's what it is, because they could have made you the offer for the fight in November or December to do the fight in February. You went ahead and booked another fight, and it's your prerogative. You can do that, but what you're not going to convince me of, if this fight doesn't happen, it's because you didn't want it to happen. Not really. You were happy to talk about it when you were 2 divisions south of Inoue, but the closer you got to him, the colder your feet got. Now here's the kicker. I didn't want Bam to have that fight with Inoue anyway, because I think Bam loses that fight. Based on what I saw in the Vargas fight, if you had to labor with him, you would languish with Inoue. He'd knock you out! You would lose, and Robert knows it. What Robert's been doing up until this point, and what he's been saying, is everything that you expect a trainer to say. That he likes his fighters' chances, that he thinks Bam beats Inoue, but the closer that fight came to becoming a reality, the more nervous he got. And who's the one who wanted to put these 2 guys in the ring with each other anyway? Because there's a noticeable discrepancy in weight. It was Turkey LL Sheikh. He was the one supposed to make it all happen. None of this became a conversation from Inoue's desire to fight Bam, who would have to move up for the fight. Inoue was not pursuing him. Turkey was pursuing this fight more than Inoue was, so put your thinking caps on, kids. My pussy hurt. Turkey seems to be spending a bit more time on the TKO Zuffa boxing side of things than the other, these days. If you're Eddie Hearn, do you want to sacrifice one of your flagship fighters for what would be one of his shows?
You notice he's not doing those Ring Magazine cards anymore. Whatever he wants to do, he seems to be doing on behalf of Zmoofa!
You know that
Eddie.
Dana White made a play to try to take Bam from Matchroom.
Did you guys forget? Dana White was trying to sign Bam.
Matchroom had to exercise their matching rights to keep Bam on their side of things, which they did. I get the impression that Eddie Hearn is not all that keen on the idea of either Turkey LL Sheik or anybody else taking one of his flagship fighters to hand over to Dana.
Make a long story short, I don't think Eddie is committed to making Bam versus Inoue. I know Robert isn't.
Like I said, Robert was all happy to talk about the fight when Bam was 2 divisions south of where Inoue is now. But the closer that fight got, the more nervous Robert got.
Myself, I don't have an appetite for that fight. I think that would be a mismatch and for Bam, a waste of time. You don't beat Inoue.
You're too young to let somebody cash you out against Naoya Inoue, because that's what that would be. That would be a cash out fight. You just got to 118, so how the fuck could you be ready to fight at 122?
I'd rather see him unify his own division. 118, become undisputed champion there. Do at 118 what you were not able to do at 115.
I don't mind it. If the Inoue fight doesn't happen, if you've been keeping up with the channel, you'll know I already suspected Team Bam were getting cold feet, and I was not optimistic that fight would go down.
It's not gonna.
Bam is fighting Chispa Medina towards the end of this year, and Inoue, I'm going to assume he's set to move up one more time, move up to featherweight, to try and become a champion at a 5th weight. So let's establish that underneath it all, Team Rodriguez, Team Bam, they don't really want the Inoue fight.
But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with Bam staying put, unifying his own division, and doing his own thing. I'm okay with it, but I don't have any illusions either. If this fight don't happen, it's cause you guys didn't want it.
Now as far as Inoue, venturing north of Super Bantam to feather, to his 5th weight class, in previous instances, I've had my reservations about whether or not Inoue would be doing too much, climbing too high.
Fighters, even very good ones, they start to struggle, say in their 3rd division, definitely in their 4th and 5th.
Fucking forget it. There are not a lot of 5-weight world champions out there. There's a reason for that.
Thus, I was skeptical as to whether or not Naoya Inoue would be able to stay in character in the featherweight division, but I do see an avenue of opportunity for him to become a world champion. It all depends on who he encounters. If he encounters IBF champion Angelo Leo, who hasn't been looking like much lately and he hasn't been fighting, I would say that he can beat Angelo Leo.
Might be able to beat Shushu too. I used to wonder about that fight, but Shushu hasn't been looking too hot as of late. I think it's because his body has outgrown feather.
What is he, 28, close to 30 years old? Waiting for a unification match, also waiting for Inoue to move up. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it the way he's been looking. I would favor Inoue to beat him.
The signs are there. Shushu faded down the stretch in his last fight, which is indicative of a fighter who's draining himself to stay at the weight.
Been there too long.
So that if you're still there by the time Inoue gets there, and he actually gives you the time of day,
usually when it's going to be depleted, where he's going to be refreshed. Thus, I like Inoue to win that fight too. I think he can beat Angelo Leo. He can beat Bruce Carrington.
Now it's time for another installment of what has fast become the most popular segment here on the channel, Ring IQ Hate Mail.
Bobby D is back. Still playing the violin for the poor, underpaid fighters.
He said the fake anti-Semitism BS won't work anymore, you little dweeb. Boxers are overpaid like UFC fighters are underpaid. Let the boxers use their leverage in an actual market like you cheerlead for the UFC.
Why, so that we could have to pay per view for every fucking fight?
Let the boxers use their leverage in an actual market like you cheerlead the UFC for using their leverage as the only real MMA game in town which allows them to use use such restrictive contracts so successfully.
Oh, that sounds like loser talk. That's what that is. Because none of those MMA fighters are obligated to sign to Dana White's UFC. There are other fighting federations like the PFL and in different regions.
They're not as restrictive.
K1.
I remember Rico Verhoeven said the reason that he didn't sign to the UFC upon leaving K1 is because he was already making more money at K1 than UFC offered.
So spare me the violins, you fucking commie.
Fucking loser. Anybody's doing better than Bobby D must be getting paid by the small hats.
Yeah, that's what he said this week. Last week he said I was getting paid by the Saudis. Is anybody doing better than this commie prick has got to be getting kickbacks?
You're just not good at anything, Bobby. That's why you're always advocating for losers. Other losers. Like you.
Loser.
Bitch. I went live yesterday. Where were you? You're on this channel every other day, every other fucking week. I go live several times a week. If I'm the little dweeb, why are you the one hiding?
Where were you?
I told you I was going live, but like I said, all you're gonna do is crack wise in the comments section because you know what you look like.
You know you're built bad.
Sits around feeling sorry for fighters that make a conscious decision to fight. Nobody's obligated to fight for Dana White's UFC. Fight for some other federation.
There were plenty of them.
Oh, because his is the biggest or his is the most successful. So fucking what? That doesn't mean he owes them anything. Doesn't owe you anything.
So what, bitch?
You're a loser. You walk around mad at everybody that's doing well because you're not.
Fucking dweeb.
Think you're fighting for something? You're supposed to be some kind of an activist?
Free Pakistan.
It's Palestine.
Free Palestine.
The thing about these fucking commies, they always want everything to be free. You can't run a soluble business, doing business, the way this idiot would tell you. Cares so much about what the fighters are making when what they're making is the reason the sport is so expensive.
Do you think this fucking idiot is going into his pocket, going into his wallet 12 plus times a year to buy every single pay-per-view? Because that's what he's advocating for. If you're okay with fighters and their overblown demands...
That's what you're advocating for, stupid. Or have you not connected the dots?
Probably not.
This is another one of those instances where communication ultimately breaks down. Because, frankly, some people are too fucking stupid to reason with. You can't waste good logic on illogical people, like this idiot.
Bobby D. What's the D for, dick sucker?
Dick in your mouth, you want to hang out with John Bones Jones? You're so worried about fighter purses, fighter pay?
You want to go shopping with Devin?
You act like these fighters that you're advocating for aren't already making more than most Americans on average. There are Americans out there. They're gonna work this entire year at some crumb bum job and not make anywhere near what these fighters are making for one fight, let alone 2 or 3.
So what are you feeling sorry for them for? You should be upset. You should be angry. They're expecting bums like you!
Suckers like you to have to pay per view several times a year, but you still don't get it. And that's alright, because that's the way the game is played. That's the game. There are winners and there are losers.
Guess which category you fall under, Bobby?
What do you think you're doing? Fighting for the little guy? You are the little guy, you dipshit!
You need somebody to fight for you.
As much time as you are already spending on this channel with as much as you have to say about this channel, you would have thought you'd have joined one of the live streams. Like the one I'm gonna do today, like the one I'm gonna do tomorrow, but you won't.
Because you're a bitch.
Fucking bitch. And what are you gonna do about it? Nothing.
Fuck your mother.
Fuck your father, pussy. Raised a bitch.
Eat a dick. That's what you want to do.
Eat a dick.